Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Bolong, and I'm the founder of Solar AI Technologies. We're a digital-first rooftop solar company providing solar-as-a-service solutions to SMEs as well as residential homeowners across Southeast Asia. Now, I think as we talk about the cities of the future today, the impact of climate change cannot be ignored. And when we look at the numbers behind climate science, it is often quite depressing. But one of the reasons why we as a company feel pretty hopeful about that is because in the last decade or so, the cost of solar has fallen 89% and is now cheaper than any sources of traditional fossil fuels. Now, this brings us to a really interesting inflection point where most of our customers at this point are switching over to solar not because they care about the environment, but because they realize that is the best way to save on their energy bills. And I think that is extremely impactful. The problem with solar, however, is that it's often a long-term investment, right? So if I ask you, would you pay $20,000 for 25 years of electricity or $250 each month? The math makes sense to say $20,000. But in Southeast Asia, in a region where most people still don't really understand the benefits of solar or don't really trust how it works, $20,000 is a significant upfront cost. And this is why the rooftop solar penetration in the region at this point in time is still less than 1%. Now, in the last decade, new financing arrangements have come up, have emerged in the space as solar as a service solution in order to de-risk the ownership of rooftop solar for property owners. However, in the industry, because the cost of sales or overheads on projects can sometimes be up to 40% of project costs, even higher than that of solar panels, usually about 25% of project costs, a lot of traditional companies are unable to provide these kinds of financing offers for projects which are under 1,000 solar panels. Right? This actually leaves out about 85% of the market, about $200 billion worth of investment opportunities, or the equivalent carbon emissions reduction of about 100 million tons of CO2. Right? This is equivalent to the carbon emissions of Philippines as a whole country. Solar AI as a company is working to serve this underserved segment. As a company, we combine data analytics and software in order to drastically reduce the cost of sales and operations of rooftop solar projects. This allows investors to achieve a sizable returns on their investments, but yet allows us to bring zero upfront cost offers for property owners to get solar. We've built computer vision models to identify rooftops and predict the solar potential of these rooftops, combining them with geospatial data with company information for us to easily identify the properties which are the most suitable for rooftop solar. We then also use some of these data and created an online solar assessment tool to allow property owners to simply enter their address, give us a couple of details about their properties, and find out what's the solar potential of their property. Our team of virtual advisors then basically guide them and advise them to provide them with the most suitable rooftop solar offers. Now, as a company, we're really focused on building education and awareness of solar in the region. And while doing so, we've managed to now become one of the most prominent online solar companies with top 3 organic ranking on Google for most solar search keywords. In less than the last year, we've served almost 1,000 property owners to provide them with an online solar assessment. And now, as we start writing content for Malaysia and Philippines, our monthly readers are about 10,000 readers. The proposition to property owners is pretty simple. Instant savings, zero upfront costs, 100% carefree. As we provide a solar as a service model to rooftop owners, we essentially install the solar systems free of charge and then charge them either a fixed monthly fee or a discounted rate on their electricity bills. Now, so when I ask you the question, are you able or do you want to pay $180 each month for rooftop solar or $250 each month? The answer is pretty obvious. Now, even though we're one of the first in the regions to enter into this space, this business model is well established by companies like Sunrun and Ampal in US or Europe. As a company, our ambition is really to deploy up to 1 gigawatt of rooftop solar across the next 5 years. And we're really lucky to be supported or invested in by companies like NG or Google for startups in doing this together. For those of you who are interested to find out more, feel free to reach out to me. Or better yet, for those of you who live in landed properties or have companies which own certain industrial properties, feel free to scan the QR code on the slide and do up an instant rooftop solar assessment for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bolong, and congratulations. Please stay on stage to accept your award. Congratulations, Bolong. Next today, we have Vladimir from Waste Labs, who are using AI for waste collection and recycling.
Good morning. Transition to circular economy and greener environment directly depend on robust and scalable waste collection. My name is Vladimir. I'm co-founder and CEO of Waste Labs. And today, I'd like to share with you how we use data and artificial intelligence to improve waste collection, help to keep our cities greener, and allow manufacturers to produce more goods from recycled materials. The world is changing, and so is our behavior. We choose to consume more sustainable products, and manufacturers are moving towards reusing more and more waste in their supply chains. At the same time, over 80% of the world waste is never recycled. And moreover, here in Asia, almost half of the waste that we generate remains in the environment. The big reason for that is complex and capital-intensive waste logistics. Companies worldwide, waste companies worldwide, are very manual when it comes to their operational planning. And that results in overspending of up to 20% on the collection costs, which comes from underutilized trucks and driving longer routes and spending more time on servicing clients than needed. This figure is very important to mention, not only because it kills the profit margins of the service providers, but also as it translates into a barrier for manufacturers to start using more secondary materials. At Waste Labs, we develop an artificial intelligence platform that helps to bridge this gap. We bring together public and private data usable for waste planning and our optimization engine that we designed specifically to solve very complex waste logistic problems. The platform allows service providers to digitize, plan, and optimize waste collection anywhere in the world. And for the manufacturers, it helps to identify the source of recyclable waste and find the optimal way to bring this waste to the recycling facility. Altogether, combined, our products and services allow service providers and manufacturers to reduce the waste collection costs by up to 10%, which is a massive saving for the waste industry. We started less than 2 years ago here in Singapore in the midst of the pandemic. And today we are very proud to serve top-tier waste management companies in Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, and the UK. Among our clients, we not only have waste collection companies, but we also have consumer brands and sustainable producers that support those brands. So today, we also see a growing demand for our products and services that are coming from more and more countries in Southeast Asia, both from cities, municipalities, and waste collection service providers. We are supported by venture capital firms in Singapore, from Singapore and the United Kingdom, and we are building towards expanding in these regions that I already mentioned. So Waste Labs is on mission to improve critical service of waste collection and helps to keep our cities cleaner and allow to have more sustainable circular products on the market. I thank you very much for your attention, and I appreciate this recognition today because it basically proves that we are doing something that is very important for all of us. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Vladimir. You're certainly doing something very important. Congratulations. Thank you, Vladimir. Next up today, we have James from the all-electric mobility company, Iron Mobility.
Good morning. It's good to be here. My name is James. I'm the founder and CEO of Iron Mobility. I couldn't bring the bike to you today, but I thought I'll try and bring some of that experience here. Yeah? I'll be talking today about how I'm engaged in accelerating the inevitable transition to electric mobility in Southeast Asia. Thank you for having me here, and looking forward to telling more. So, fun fact, very few people realize that pre-pandemic times, more motorbikes actually come from Johor Bahru across the causeway than we have on the roads in Singapore. The region that we're in is actually home to the third largest motorbike population in the world, just behind India and China. And in this domain, in Indonesia especially, which is our first target market, we actually touch significant impact, significant reach, because you've got more than 6-to-1 in terms of motorbike sales to car sales. And that's why we've chosen to start in this domain. I also believe that the car space has been pretty much solved, right? Contrary to popular belief, motorbikes are actually less fuel efficient, less emissions friendly when you have a general situation of poor enforcement around the region. I believe that we've looked at research reports. Not enough are being done on the research front on this space, but whatever we can find tells us very clearly that you're looking at significant hydrocarbon, significant carbon dioxide overheads. And if we could transition all 112 in Indonesia, all 200 in Southeast Asia, you're looking at a significant change to the economy, and society, achieving some of the visions of our previous panelists, right? Having much cleaner city air. The time is now to go after this space because of interesting commitments and timelines put by especially the Indonesian and more recently Thailand governments. It is important for us to rally to this heralding cry and play our part in this region as a hyper-regional company to build electric mobility products and energy storage solutions, specifically starting with the road motorbike category. In doing this, we've studied extensively market research, looking at models in the combustion space that we are largely against, looking at the electric brethren that have come before us, and we've discovered that a lot of the electric products that customers have today, they're either too underwhelming, too low-powered, not exciting to ride, or in form factors and in power and price levels that are just simply out of reach for the mass market in Southeast Asia. We've drawn from all of our learnings and competitors, and we've chosen to go after the 16% market share in Indonesia, the maxi scooter 150cc to 160cc category that I've highlighted here. We've gone for a form factor that we think is attractive yet practical, and we've got top performance and specifications and features that we're building in-house, right, in Singapore and with our teams in Shenzhen and Jakarta that we built during the pandemic. This is to emphasize that we're doing a full stack play. We're an end-to-end company. You can pretty much say I've been inspired by a lot of the companies in different industries that came before us. And we're preparing to go to market with our Ion Mobius, the inaugural product in Indonesia later this year. We unveiled it last year with our guest of honor, and it'll be coming to a store near you in Indonesia soon. Right? Singapore will have to wait, unfortunately. We go down to key fobs. We go down to mating the powertrain. We build our own custom battery pack and battery management system. Right? So it's a hard tech. Oops, sorry. It's a hard tech meets impact company. Right? We make this ourselves as well. We assemble it. And I'll end off with a video of it in action. Quick one, yeah? A little bit, I'll just skip it. Okay, that's it. So we're raising our Series A right now. We've raised 6.8 million to date, and we're raising 25 million with some debt along the way. I'm already engaged in due diligence with investors. Happy to speak to some of you who might be interested. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, James. Congratulations. Thank you, James. Now, let's welcome to the stage the final startup of the energy and mobility cohort with AutoShare innovators, DriveLa. Gaurav, it's over to you.
Good afternoon. I have the privilege of transitioning from morning to afternoon. So good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Gaurav Singhal, and I am the co-founder of Drivela. Drivela, the fastest growing car sharing network in Singapore. Imagine any car, anytime, anywhere, without the hassle of ownership. That's who we are. We have spoken today about cities becoming smarter. And what does that really mean? Cities realizing that this one car, one person mentality is unsustainable. And that is why what we see is that there's a massive shift happening away from car ownership to usership. In fact, over the next decade, the car sharing is expected to grow by 3.5 times, and private car ownership is expected to come down by 40%. And that's where we come in. We are like an Airbnb of cars, wherein we have built a connected car ecosystem which brings together people who value flexible car ownership, flexible access to cars, and matching them to people who are willing to rent out their cars. And as a result, we have validated this model in Singapore over the last 2 years, having done more than 20,000 trips. What makes us different? There are plenty of solutions around there, which is different car sharing companies, traditional car rental companies. What makes us different is that we do not own any of these cars. These cars are all shared. These are already existent on the roads. We do not buy any cars. And secondly, our technology, our telematics, our in-house IoT technology, data, keyless access, we work on those to improve the customer experience ultimately. But most importantly, what are we doing to make the city smarter? For every car that is shared, we take 7 cars off the road. That means less carbon footprint, less congestion, less parking needed, and more importantly, more income opportunities for individual car owners. In fact, in the last 2 years, we have helped car owners generate more than $2 million in additional income during this tough period of the pandemic. Our efforts have been recognized and supported by the LTA, MTI, and ESG, and we're very thankful to that and hope to continue working on that. The most importantly, we have also built a very strong business. In the last 2 years, we have grown 8x in terms of our revenue. We have more than 175,000 registered users in Singapore, raised $4 million in funding, and have more than 50% customers coming back to us for repeats. And on the back of this strong business model, we have now introduced Drivela as DriveMate, because when we went with Drivela, nobody understood what La meant. So we changed it to DriveMate. So any of you traveling next time down under, Australia is now open to tourism. And if any of you are going down under, feel free to experience your own, very own Singaporean startup in Australia as DriveMate. Once again, I would like to thank Cities of the Future for recognizing the work of Drivela. I'm joined here by my colleagues, Sarah and Joshua from the team. And we again thank you for having us here. Have a great day ahead.
And congratulations.